from the telecoms sector, you know that very well. One thing that's really interesting is telecoms took technology and changed. So we all have a very different way of communicating now, because some bloke called Steve Jobs decided to stick a phone without buttons and put in a computer and a music player. That driver where technology changed, instead of waiting for regulatory, I know there was a lot of regulation around telecoms, but do you think there's a lot Energy can learn from that? Because it's always seen as a fast-moving sector, telecoms and IT.
So they've changed people's behaviour massively in some ways, but I think in other ways you see our behaviour hasn't even begun to shift. So we've got the tools in our hands to do amazing things, to do conference calls from wherever we are, yet we still jump on planes at the drop of a hat because of presence culture. And yet you can get almost the same presence from doing a video call. So I think there's both been a dramatic shift in the capability and the capacity of what we can do, but there's a long way to go on behaviour. And I think that's where regulation probably needs to be very, very smart in terms of how it starts to push the telcos to do things that support this overall trend.
Do you think your sector finally is also feeling, we're here at an energy conference, everyone working in ancillary factors, is the telecoms industry looking at this carbon push, the net zero thing as well?
I think they're definitely looking at it. I think when you look at the networks and you look at the scale, they've had to be looking at it. I think
battery tech's going to be huge, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I think there are probably more and more smart things being done in niches. I think they're just waking up really to what they will have to do to support an overall carbon neutral drive. There's some great things I've seen today, which I'm sure energy managers in the telcos are looking at, just like any energy manager in any large organisation. But I think it's great to see, obviously the people here are very proactive and the initiatives that are being taken. I think it's still waking up. So you see industries that have got a lot of legacy, whether it's IT legacy or energy legacy, now really beginning to shift. And I think one of the things I've heard today a few times on the stage is we have to do this. And until it becomes and there are people actually in the telco saying I'm going to see this change through, we're still on the cusp.